Greetings, fellow traveler. I thought I saw a wisp of smoke forming the shape of your silhouette, and now here you are. You've been working on your materialization skills, I see. I was just burning away the remnants of a dreary past. Fire is seen by some as a force of raging destruction, but it need not be cast in such a dour countenance. I consider it rather as a purifying warmth, which strips away corruption and lights our path through the darkness. I can see that something is troubling you. Come, let us consult the cards. Let the flames reveal what you need to know, and render to ash all that stands in your way. Look at that. We're gonna need to have a chat about this. Settle in. Let's go over it. Our first card is the Five of Cups. This card has become a consistent fixture in this set of readings, whether upright or in the reverse. It is a symbol of lingering heartache and gloomy feelings over a loss, distracting you from the present moment and the vital appreciation of what you still have ahead. Sometimes it is difficult to move on from the past, but a failure to do so can affect your entire trajectory going forward. I shall advise you on this today. What crosses you is justice. This is not only a card of earthly court and legality, but spiritual and karmic balance as well. Perhaps the negative outcomes you're pining about were more fair than you realize. You should take care to examine the situation from the perspective of others involved. Is there something you're missing about why things transpired the way that they did? If justice is what's crossing you, that could mean the way you wanted things to go would have been an injustice, and your continued sulking about it is preventing you from reaching the spiritual lessons you need to process to move on. The root of the situation at hand is the Death card, reversed. Here we see confirmation. As I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of death, it is a card of renewal and transformation and not a portent of doom or misfortune. What this means is that a change was meant to take place, or still needs to take place, and that the stubborn clinging of old habits are preventing it from occurring. In order to heal from your wounds, you must allow what has transpired to shape you into a better and wiser version of yourself. What has been must pass away for what is to be to come to light. The past was defined by the Two of Pentacles. This is a card of juggling balance and struggling to maintain equilibrium. Perhaps your past environment has been born of too much chaos and trying to make conflicting motivations match up in a cohesive manner. This can sometimes lead to a two-faced or hypocritical existence, which is difficult to keep up for long. Unlike Temperance, the Two of Pentacles indicates difficulty with this duality, and perhaps it was inevitable that this balancing act would eventually come to a head. It is important for you to examine the ways in which this indecision has shaped your current situation. What crowns you is the Four of Pentacles. Worry over worldly resources and a stubborn or greedy impulse to cling to what you have looms over the proceedings. You must be comfortable letting go of what does not serve you for more aligned influences to come into your life. The cards would indicate that what you've done in the past was not working, and perhaps you need to take inventory of what the source of your lack of balance was. The fifth card can sometimes indicate the likely outcome if you don't make a change, and this mentality of being overly protective of what you have is a miserable drain on your energy. Consider what it is that you're protecting, and whether it's really worth so much strife. The future, if you don't allow things to change, is the King of Pentacles reversed. This card indicates a person who is overly obsessed with material concerns and is greedy, dishonest, or corrupt about it. It can indicate failures in business and struggles with income. If you don't take stock of what you wish to keep and what you allow to slip away, you're likely to find yourself expending too much energy and too many resources hanging on to what doesn't make any sort of positive contribution to your life. An attitude of lack creates lack, and greed leads only to never feeling what you have is enough. You do not wish to become this needy, hoarding figure. Yourself in this situation is represented by the Empress reversed. The Empress is the divine feminine personified, creation in human form. A reversed position indicates that what ought to be is lacking. If you want abundance, you must become abundance. Perhaps you're lacking faith in your own ability to create what you need, and this is what has led to your inability to let go. Get in touch with the important resources within yourself rather than focusing so much on what is outside of you. When you behave like a sacred creator, you become a magnet for all that you need and desire. What surrounds you is the Six of Swords. Somebody in your orbit is perhaps embodying exactly what you need to be cultivating within yourself. This is a card of faith, setting out on a difficult journey knowing that one is guided by divine spiritual forces that will take them to calmer waters. Who that you know is facing worse difficulties with less consternation? Does their courage fill you with inspiration, or does their hardship make you fear for your own well-being? Perhaps viewing them in a new light might help you reach similar strength within yourself. Your fears are signified by the Queen of Cups reversed. This queen is a fount of kindness, wisdom, and emotional warmth. Perhaps you fear to come up against someone who is the reverse of all those things, or you fear becoming that sort of person yourself. You could be in anxieties about a person who will show you no mercy if they see you at your lowest, and that is what drives you to refuse to let go and allow change to take place. It is important to remember that the more you struggle against this fear, the more likely it is to come to fruition. Think of the worst that could happen, and ask yourself how much worse it truly is than what you're already dealing with. The final outcome is the Three of Swords reversed. This can have a range of meanings, and it is important to consider the possibilities. Yes, it is the card of heartbreak and sorrow, and yes, its reverse position could mean that this too shall pass, and even tragedy comes to an end one day. But it could also indicate a breakup, which is long needed to come to pass. It could indicate the shutting down of emotions and becoming an icy and closed-off figure who lacks heart. The interpretation is up to you. You know your situation better than I. But the rest of the spread is inherently important in determining what the other cards mean, especially the 10th one. Let's take a closer look at that. There is a common theme to this reading about clinging to things that should long since have passed. Truly, I would say the entire spread could be summed up by that first Five of Cups. You're hanging on to something that isn't for your best good, and likely never was. It has forced you to balance against what was good for you, and put you in a mentality of lack and desperation, and this clinging behavior is delaying your transformation into a better life. The final Three of Swords indicates that the situation will end, whether you fight against it or not. But it does seem that continuing to resist it will take a toll on you, and perhaps have effects that are not for the best. I would advise that you embrace change with courage and find your abundance from within, especially if this is a bad relationship that you feel you must stay in for financial security. It's time to let it go before things can get any worse. This reading is thanks to the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot by Scott Murphy and Melanie Marquise, a delightful witch I've had the pleasure of meeting and hearing her explanations of the symbolism, and I do lean heavily on her interpretations of the cards when reading with her deck. Additional images for comparison are from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Silhouette Tarot, and the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg. This is the penultimate video in this reading series, as there's only one more that I've already done the artwork for. I did most of the prep work for all of these videos about 2.5 months ago, and I've learned a lot of new tricks since then working on the symposium. So the next set of reading videos will likely be more visually interesting and perhaps include more self-composed music. Speaking of which, the music in this video is by Varum and Arith Harger, who is included in my list of recommended channels. If you've enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe, as I have a lot of great planned content coming up that I'm excited to share with you. And, as always, good luck and safe travels.